The government of the Gambia held a media briefing on the security sector reform process in the country, 16 February 2023, to sensitize the public and create awareness on the ongoing SSR in the Gambia and provide on what has been achieved thus far. Highlight the current challenges and way forward. Abubakar Suleiman Jeng, National Security Advisor, a career police officer with massive professional experience both at home and abroad.
Now let me give you an insight of what are the overall objectives of this SSR project. The current government, under the leadership of His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and the Chairperson of the National Security Council, is committed to the promotion of a culture of tolerance, democracy, good governance, rule of law, and human rights. Based on these principles, the reforms that were introduced in the aftermath of the 2017 transition is premised on the consideration for the protection of the citizens. You now know about the paradigm shift. Human-centered security is what is acceptable globally now, and their participation in security matters as a guarantee for their freedom and the enthronement of values that would underpin the operations of rule of law in the country. In this regard, the security sector reform set out the parameters necessary to enable the fulfillment of legitimate security functions through reforms, restructuring, and institutional development, counterbalanced by increased democratic oversight. This will ensure an accountable, effective, and efficient security sector, which is the aim and objective.
Mr. Jeng also used the occasion to highlight the security sector reform achievements, in which he said security services are now accountable for safeguarding and upholding the rights of citizens through oversight mechanisms.
Undoubtedly, since the SSR started, we have registered significant and key achievements, and I would want to highlight those. The security services are now reoriented and accountable in safeguarding and upholding the rights of the citizens through oversight mechanisms. The Minister of Interior seated here, Minister of Defense, and other security service heads that are present here are now all held to account, providing briefings and answering to the National Assembly Oversight Committees on Defense and Security. It's an achievement. The National Intelligence Agency, which is now rebranded as the State Intelligence Service, since the last 6 years is no longer engaged in arbitrary arrest, detention, torture, and other forms of right abuses as evident in the previous administration. The service is now focused on its core mandate of intelligence, collection, analysis, and dissemination of advice policymakers and consumers. A huge leap and an achievement as well. And I'm sure a lot of you will testify to that. The Gambia Police Force now hardly detains suspects beyond the 72 hours mandatory as required by law, and embraces the concept of community policing approach as well as accountable and respect human rights and rule of law. The Gambia Armed Forces is now focused on its core mandate of safeguarding the territorial integrity of the country, as well as engage in civil-military relationships to foster better understanding with the citizens of this country.
He also spoke on the issues concerned about the economic mandate, saying, as genuine and legitimate concerns are raised by the citizens, it's important to bring context to these issues.
Please allow me to comment on the economic forces deployed by ECOWAS on a clear and defined mandate with the approval of the Gambia government and was widely welcomed by the Gambian population at the initial set. ECOMIC's mandate is to provide security to the President, cabinet members, and government institutions, and conduct confidence-building measures. Over this period, they have been deployed in Bara, covering the North Bank, and the Southern Bank in Buyam and Medina. They have executed their mandate supporting both the military and the police in a professional manner with least interference in the domestic and internal matters of this country. It is important to outline that. It should be noted that all peacekeeping missions have timeline, and ECOMIC is no exception to this reality. The Gambia government is working in a progressive way for the eventual withdrawal of ECOMIC through training and capacity building of the Gambia security institutions. Therefore, government is committed to carry out a comprehensive security sector reform in the shortest possible time with the support of its development partners.
Reporting for N24, I am Lamin Ba.